What's going on, guys? My name is Kyle and welcome back to the game department. Today we are taking on another episode of the Bathurst Challenge. Massive shout out to Adam for this week's suggestion. This is the Brabus Smart. I have no idea how well this is going to go or if I pronounce the company name right, but we're just going to wing it. We're going to throw it around the track, see how it goes, and just hope for the best. So here we are in Assetto Corsa with the Brabus Smart ready to go. I have to say, this Brabus in a camo livery looks amazing. I don't know how fast it's going to be, but that's not the point. It looks the goods and that's what matters. Now, before we do jump in this car and get started, I do want to quickly say that I do have a new track map to do all these tests in. This is a laser scan track from Assetto Corsa Competizione that we are using in AC. I don't know if that's going to make a massive difference, but I did want to let you know now so you don't look at the track and go, something's weird. This is different. That's why. It's a different track, but with any luck, it'll give us a better representation of what Bathurst is actually like and make it a little bit better for the cars in the future. So same rules apply. We're going to do one out lap in the Brabus and see how it feels going around Bathurst before we settle in, do our 10 hot laps, and just see how fast we can get this car around this track without putting it through a fence or a wall, or if it even makes it up the mountain at all. I have no idea. Let's just try it. Alrighty, here we go. Let's just take off, see how we feel in this car. Oh God, it is slow. Oh, it is very slow. All right. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, it's got a little bit more pace than I thought it did. All right, into fourth gear, 140 kilometers before the first turn. See how the brakes go. It is a really, really light car, so with any luck, that kind of feels okay. That feels really good. This might be a very interesting lap. I have no idea how fast this car is going to go or what the top speed of this car even is, but so far, see how we can take this turn here. Oh God, it is very light. Oh God, okay. Have to be much slower on the brakes and on the throttle on that because it is a very light car, but it's got a lot more juice than I thought it would. Jeez Louise. All right. So third gear, 100 kilometers. So I can hit 100 Ks in third gear. Out to fourth. Let's see how fast we can get before we start going up the mountain now. I think I just need to keep that on my mind. Need to be slower on the throttle because it is such a light car. It's very easy to just throw it around a corner. Okay, fifth gear, it's the highest it goes. We're at 178 kilometers an hour. Start braking a little bit later than we normally would because the car does weigh nothing. Straight up the mountain. Probably should have taken that in third gear instead of fourth gear. But still, it's about working out how it feels. Up the cutting now. Down to second gear. Oh, God, it gets a bit loose. Gets a bit loose. But overall, this feels pretty good so far. This actually feels quite nice to drive, which is very weird. Obviously, it's a little bit loose in some of the corners because it is such a light vehicle, but I'll be interested to see how it takes these faster sections at the top of the mountain and the descent down into Forest Elbow. That'll be interesting. Oh, it's hard to get some high-speed turns in because the car has no weight to it. So just to grip that road, it struggles. Oh God, straight into the barrier. Okay, I think that's a perfect place to leave it. We won't tackle the dipper until it comes down to our hot laps. But overall, I think this could be a pretty good lap. I don't think it's going to be as fast as some of the faster cars on the leaderboard, but I think it definitely has a good chance to smash some of those lower end cars. But we have no idea until we try it. I'm going to jump straight in now. I'll do our 10 hot laps, see how fast we can go, and I'll come back with the fastest. So I'll see you in a second. I miss you already. Alrighty, here we go. Fastest lap in the Brabus Smart. Definitely not the car I thought we would ever be taking around Bathurst, but you guys never cease to amaze me. This was actually a hell of a lot funner to drive than I thought it was going to be. Now let's start. Heading into the very first corner here, trying to brake at the 50 board. Try and not lose traction like we did on our very first out lap. It gets a little shaky on the exit, but really trying to feed it out to the right-hand side and putting down the power as quickly as we can, trying to keep as much momentum on this straight here before we start heading up the mountain for the first time in this hot lap. Now we're really pushing this as hard as we can. I think we're as fast as we could possibly get out of this Brabus right now before we need to start slowing down for our ascent up the mountain. Slowing down in between the 100 and the 50 board, holding it into that right-hand side of this right turn here before we start feeding into the left-hand side of the barrier. Really trying to keep the momentum because that is the absolute key with this car. Slowing down into this left here, lifting off, trying to brake in a straight line so we don't lose any traction like we did on our out lap. it was very easy to put my foot down way too fast and start losing traction or sliding out into any side depending on which way we were going. Now we want to lift off into this right-hand turn here without braking too hard. We're going to put our foot down as quick as we can, again, trying to keep the momentum. Feeding into the left here, not putting our foot off that throttle. We're going to lift off slightly and then plant our foot back again. Almost lost it with a little bit of a slide on that left-hand turn. Really trying to feed into the barrier here without losing any traction. Feeding out into the right before we start doing the S's and the dipper. Now this was a really, really hard section to get right, especially because the car weighs absolutely nothing. It was really, really easy to feed it into a wall. We're going to slow down, hit this part right here on the left, try and power out without losing any traction. The whole rear is just sliding on the car at this point. It is really, really hard to slow down on these descents now into Forest Elbow, trying to get it down without hitting that left-hand wall there. You can feel it gets really, really loose. It starts to wobble a lot more than I thought it would. Now we're going to go into a different camera angle now, seeing what the car actually looks like. Instead of going underneath the Bentley sign, due to this new map, it's going to be an Amarok sign. Watching this Brabus power off into the night, seeing how fast we can actually get this car. Really, really trying to keep it nice and smooth. Look at how absolutely gorgeous that Brabus Smart looks going on past those Pirelli signs. Ridiculous, ridiculous. It was made for the mountain. Heading down into the chase now, seeing how fast we can actually get this and how quick this lap can be. Starting to slow down at the 50 board, feed it into the left-hand turn there, and then start going into this last part of Murray's Corner underneath the Liqui Moly sign. This is looking like a pretty bloody good lap, if I do say so myself. Past the 150 board, slowing down to the 100 board to make sure we have enough time to get the car slowed down without losing traction. Powering it out to the right-hand side underneath the start-finish line right now. Hitting at 247.948. Not a bad lap at all. So there we go, the Brabus Smart comes in at 247.948, a blistering lap from the Smart car. I did not expect it to get anywhere near this sort of time frame, but this is only 11 seconds slower than the BMW that we did a couple of weeks ago. I am so impressed with how quick this car was to go around Bathurst. Obviously, because it is such a light car, it doesn't take a massive, massive engine to get it around the track, but I was very impressed on how comfy it was to drive and how well it handled a lot of those high-speed corners. I didn't expect that at all. So having a look at the leaderboard now, the Brabus is going to go right underneath that BMW only by 11 seconds in that lap time. Not a huge margin of error between a BMW and a Brabus Smart. Definitely not the gap that I thought was going to be there. Obviously, the Beetle and the Reliant Robin are still going to sit at the very bottom of the leaderboard, but I think from the Brabus Smart, that is not a bloody bad effort at all. Now, if you like this video, don't forget to leave it a thumbs up. It does help out the channel a hell of a lot. Also, subscribe. I post new videos every week, and you don't want to miss them. If you want to come and join us on any of our social media, I will leave all the links in the description below. We have a great community of people. If you guys want to come and chat with us live, we stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at twitch.tv/The Game Department. I'd love to see you there. Now, if you guys do have a suggestion for a car you'd want to see next, don't forget to leave me a comment in the description. If there's a mod for it, we'll do it. Other than that, I'm going to leave you guys to it. I hope you had a good morning. I hope you have a good night,